Rob Tebbutt here for Boxing News, joined by the one and only King of Brum, Jaykae. We're here at McCracken's gym in Birmingham. Jaykae, how are you?
I'm good, bro. Very good. Very anxious to get the job done. Yeah.
Very anxious to get what job done?
The two big debuts of the two probably most spoken about debuts I've heard in a minute, man. Everyone's buzzing for Aadam, everyone's buzzing for Ibraheem.
So you're taken to this like boxing promotion management thing,
All
like,
of it,
like a
yeah.
duck to water, aren't you?
Just love it, mate. Yeah.
So let's get into it. You are a boxing manager. You're now in boxing. You have been for a little while, but I think it's fair to say this is kind of the unveiling, the first, significant step, I would say, probably, certainly publicly for McCracken's gym, the debut of Aadam and Hamed on August the 26th, and of course, Ibraheem Spider Sulaimaan right here in Birmingham on August the 19th. Before we come on to talk about those things, let's talk about your journey, I guess, to this point to get involved in boxing. Everybody will know you as a musician, among other things, but you've now turned your hand to boxing. Tell us about that.
It's always been something that I've liked. I wish it's something I got into 10 years ago. I think I've missed out like a good chunk of my life where I could have got a lot of stuff done. A lot of people I think I could have helped along the way as well. Obviously, we've always been big fans of it. Obviously, it's good that I'm speaking to you because you personally know us, you get me? You've been with us on nights, watching fights, you get me? Like, we love this stuff, me, Momo, brothers and that. We live for it, you get me? So, and Momo always had the head movement thing. And at the time, he never had no funding or sponsors or anything like that. So I'd help as much as I could, making sure he could get around the country and get his thing done. And then I seen how much he was getting into it, like how serious he was taking it. And then I think then D2 as well. Like D2's gone, he's an amateur coach at Acot's Green now. Like, it's mad how we all, like a group of friends, just all found our ways into some aspect into the boxing world, whether it be media, training, or like managing, you get me? So it just all kind of worked hand in hand. And then obviously I seen Spider and I just thought, like, yo, I can really, really help this kid. And it was, that was the start of it.
In boxing, I mean, boxing has no barrier of entry. It's kind of one of the most spoken about things. And people from the outside looking in will see, musician turned music manager. And people, I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, people won't take that seriously. People will look at it as, oh, what's his intention? What's he doing there? What are your intentions?
I understand that. I get fully why people will think, it's a joke or he's not in it for the long run or whatever. I totally get it. You get me? Like, I'd probably look at somebody else if they started doing something like that and not take them seriously until it gets to this. But I know I promised Ibraheem stuff 3 years ago, which I've delivered everything. And now we're here. He's on a Matchroom DAZN card for his debut. And I told him this will happen years ago. So I'm definitely onto something. When I put my mind to something, and people talk about like affirming it and like law of attraction and things like that, bro. Since a kid, people I've always wanted to be around and work with, I've always ended up there with them, bro. So with this boxing thing, I'm very accessible, you get me? Music and boxing are two different things, but they work hand in hand. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of my networking and links that I've got through music, some of them have been with whether it's boxers or like just being invited to certain places and mingling with certain people. I've got a good link up with people, so I just think I'm kind of good at what I can do. I can bring eyes up. When I took on Spider, he had, I think, just under 3,000 followers. He's about to hit 19,000 followers now. Do you get what I'm saying? So social media aspect and things like that, I might not know the hard part of boxing. Yeah, I might not know about that too much, but the promoting and getting somebody out there, who can do it better than me? Like at this level where I'm at now, I think I'm doing a good job.
You're, of course, now in partnership with Spencer McCracken, somebody who has a very rich family history and heritage in boxing as well. How did that relationship come about?
So my mate, it was Corona times, just after Corona was like all dying down and you could get in the gym a bit. And we was just all like just out of shape and that. And we started boxing. My mate M1, so we went with him and I always knew who Spencer McCracken Jr was. Birmingham's not very big, you get me? I've always known their family, I've always known what's going on, you get me? But me and him had never crossed paths, so we eventually did. And then we was training a lot with each other, and then we were just like, yo, we should open our own gym, we could do sick things together and blah, blah, blah. But I know my place. I'm not gonna open a boxing gym and call it Jaykae's Boxing Gym. It's smart for me to open it with the McCracken name because the first big boxing family name in Birmingham is the McCrackens, and after that you've had the Yafais, and after that will be the Sulaimans. I'm telling you, like that's the order, that's the pecking order. I'd be stupid not to jump at an opportunity like that, being so passionate about something, you get me? So I think it just all worked hand in hand, and me and his dad get along very well. It's just, it's good for me, and they've brought me on a lot as well, man. I've learned a lot from them.
Seems like you've got things quite well balanced between you as well. I mean, I had to twist Spencer's arm to get him to do 30 seconds or so there, but you've mentioned already you've kind of got the promotional side and the push-in and the growth side down to a T, and he obviously has the boxing side down to a T, so it seems from the outside looking in that you're a good team.
Yeah, it's good. People pull up to the gym to see Jaykae the musician, you get me? Then people come up to the gym because they heard Nazi's boys are training here, that's in the documentary on BBC. Then people are coming here because they heard Spider training here, so there's a lot of... We're not the biggest or most successful gym in Birmingham, but we're definitely making a lot of noise for where we are. We've been in this 1 year now. Like, I feel like we're off to a good start. And I understand it's going to take like 10, 15, maybe 20 years to gain the respect from the general boxing audience, because it takes a long time for people to respect you and what you do. And there's going to be hard times, and we understand that, and we're going to embrace that. But there's also going to be very good times, which we can't wait for as well.
Ibraheem Spider Sulaimaan, of course, your charge, who makes his professional debut on August the 19th. You mentioned there a few years back meeting him and kind of making him those promises. Do you remember the first time that you met him? Do you remember the first serious conversation that you had with him about boxing?
My mate Ramsey, he's the guy that made it happen, yeah. So Jam Jar in Small Leaf is a dessert shop, and there's Abu Zaid and things like that, and Ramsey's family and Spider's family owned the shop. So I'd always known he's got 3 older brothers, so I'd always seen them about, always shook their hand, how you doing, bro, you okay? But never really like a proper conversation with them. And then when Spider come along, I told Ramsey, like, yo, link me up with one of the older brothers, the oldest brother, I want to chat to them. And then, obviously, they knew who I was and things like that, but in terms of influence, yeah, they don't give a shit about music, they don't care about who I am, you get me, they don't care about music, like, I'm just Jay, do you know what I'm saying? They don't know one song that I've ever made. That's them lot, and I'm being serious there. They don't know my music, they don't know what I've done, they don't know my accolades, or they just know me as Jay from Small Leaf. So when I met up with him, I told him what I think I could do and where I think I could get him eventually. And then Spider was saying, I want to win the Nationals as a senior, because he'd won it as a schoolboy and he'd won it as a junior. So I was like, let's go for it, let's crack it, basically. And then I had a meeting with his coaches that he was with Eastside. And I told them that I was getting on board with it. And to be fair to them, they let me in, and they didn't shy away from it, and they let me help him. And then I was probably a bit of a nose with them as well, because I'm always on him. I'm bringing cameras, crews to the gym, and just to get his thing out there a little bit. And bless him, he went and won it, bro. Like, he won it. He went a weight above as well, and he won it. He won the senior nationals. So after that, I told him, obviously GB trials come. Told him, you're gonna piss that. You're gonna get that 100%. And which is obviously what ended up happening. And then the Commonwealth Games was in Birmingham last year, so we was thinking success story, like delicious story, like what he's done basically. He was in his hometown, he can, on a big platform like that. We thought Spider would go and do big bits in that, but he never got picked for it, kind of got shunned away, so it was just like, he was there for a bit, in and ahhing, and he was like, yo, I want to turn pro. I was like, come. He's 22 years old now, so it's a good time for him, I think.
One of the things that's kind of always struck me from dealing with you and speaking with you and kind of understanding your career path in boxing, because, you know, it's something, I openly admit it, you know, you see something like that and you think, I wonder what's going on there. But has been how involved you've been on the day-to-day, and how, I wouldn't say you've pushed, but certainly you've advised and you've kind of counselled about the benefits of amateur boxing and going to GB and the experiences, both good and bad, because everybody kind of has their own journey on there. What do you think that says about your relationship with him?
With Spider, I know Spider. Like, I know him inside out now. And like, I told him this was all gonna happen. You're gonna win nationals. You're gonna have, like, imagine her debuting in the Birmingham show on a Matchroom in particular. That's what we used to say. I'm not lying. That's what we used to say. And it's ended up coming. So, and he trusts me now. And his family know that I've delivered everything I've said. So I've gained their trust. They allow me to do what I need to do, involve who I need to involve, and just get him in the right places. Like, I genuinely believe Birmingham hasn't had a superstar boxer. Not yet. You get me? They've had a world champion, credit to Kao Yafai. They've had Olympic gold medalists, credit to Galal Yafai. They've had people that have come and done big things in boxing, but I don't think genuinely there's been a superstar from here, do you get me? And I think he's going to be the first one to deliver that, and I think I'm going to take him all the way.
You mentioned that August the 19th, of course, the debut of Ibraheem Spider Sulaimaan in Birmingham, as you've mentioned there. How did that come about? You mentioned Matchroom, and I know that you've had a relationship with Eddie Hearn and go into events and what have you.
Not even a relationship. I used to do his head in, bro. I just messaged him about Spider, and I eventually got a reply, bro. I seen Katie Taylor, I think it was, say she'd done an interview where she DM'd him or something, and he replied, and look, now I'm a world champion, blah blah blah. So I messaged him something along them lines, and then I got a reply from him, and it was still early. I told him, like, we're not looking to turn pro yet. We want to win the nationals, and he was like, it's a good time, obviously, because it was Corona. It was 2020. This was, so he's like, it's a good time to stay amateur. Let him fly at that for a bit, and then we'll have a conversation close to the time. And then it fell to recently when he's obviously gone and got approved by the board. He's got his license and all that. So how has it landed like this in our head? We're thinking, you get me? I seen something on Twitter, like 19th of August, Dubois and Yafai rumoured basically Matchroom show in Birmingham. That interests me as a boxing fan because we ain't had that in Birmingham for a minute. You get me? Just a Matchroom show or a good boxing card, like on a high level, thousands of people. You get me? I ain't really seen, nothing's interested me enough like that. So, and I go to all the small hall shows as well. Literally, you'll catch me all the time at H3 and Eastside rooms. I'm there. I buy tickets off these smaller fighters and I help them out all the time. Like, I go and watch these things. So when I seen the Matchroom thing, I thought, yo, it's inevitable. Like, we've got to get him on there. And then obviously big up Ross as well, Garrity. He's another person that I go back and forth with, and yeah, we just made it happen.
How does that make Spider feel? Because he's very, I think it's fair to say, he's quiet, kind of reserved, humble young man, but he has that kind of steeliness and that he wants to get on with things. I remember being in the gym, it must have been a year ago or something like that, and he'd said to me, I really want to turn pro. He must be absolutely made up to be boxing on August the 19th.
He's buzzing, and obviously we're going to finally get to see where he's at. I've been singing his praises for the last how many years, telling people how great this kid is, and now it's time for him to deliver. And I'm confident, you get me? I can't wait. He's the guy, you get me? And his humbleness and his connection with God as well, it's done something to me as well in life, you get me? Like, he's brought me down a notch. So I'm very cool being in here, and like, I do the jobs in here that people might not like doing, you get me? I'll get messy, I don't mind. Like, I know my place in this gym, but I also know my role with him, you get me? And like what we're looking to do in life in general. I know his aspirations, where he wants to be in 10, 15 years, you get me? And I'm going to try and take him the whole way.
Kind of mentioned earlier when we were doing our kind of filming of the sessions and stuff, you are, loud and proud Mr. Birmingham, King of Brum. What does it mean to you to potentially bring these big nights consistently to Birmingham and leave that lasting legacy in boxing? Something that I'd imagine 5-10 years ago you thought would be something that was kind of strictly on music, but now you've got that opportunity in boxing. What does that mean to you?
For music, still on that's my job. That's what pays me. That's what helps me keep the roof over here. That's my life. You get me? But I see this as being something in 10, 15 years time. What did you say as well? Sorry.
About leaving the legacy really for Birmingham boxing and
putting on big shows and things like that. Yeah, like we ain't gonna be credited, but like it's not. We can't say like we're putting on the big shows in Birmingham because there's people well more progress in their career, but no one's done the Blues ground or Villa ground. You know what I'm saying? No one's took it to there. And that's where I think that we can take it with Spider. Like, his connection, his fan base, how people, like, he's got a tribe of people that love him, bro. Like, we went to Sonny Edwards' fight in London. People are running up to him everywhere. Spider. So I know it's working. And I know we go most places and he's with me. People obviously come up to me for photos, but people might see him first and be like, Spider. You get me? Or might not even know who I am and still gas over him. So it's a slow game. I think obviously he's got a test as well on his debut to see what level he's at, and I think he's gonna piss it out, flying colours. He's gonna smash his kid all over the ring, and then we can talk business from there. And I think people will see the influence that he's gonna have, not just on Birmingham, all over the world. I think this kid's gonna go like, you see the influence that Khabib's got on the world. I think this kid's on that same level, like headed stuff. Like, people will take to him and love this guy. He's a genuine kid.
We mentioned their names at various points in here, but Aadam Hamed just sat over behind us, who makes his professional debut a week later on the Usyk Dubois card in Poland. So it's not just Spider who's kind of making his own way in the gym. And I know you have other pros and people coming in and out, but having Aadam and Sami, his brother, in the gym as well, I know you have a very unique relationship with them, and you got all
They're my little brothers, man.
All kind of keep yourself grounded, really. But what's it been like having those guys in the gym, and what can we expect to see from them?
Bro, obviously everyone, we don't have to sit here and talk about their dad too much. Legend in the game. His dad's been here, watched him do the kids' classes and things like that. His dad trusts us 100%. That's one thing I'm happy with, you get me? Because that could have been a problem, but his dad trusts what Spencer's doing with Aadam, with Sam. You get me? Sol's doing his amateur thing, so eventually, we don't know, he might end up in here, whatever. But these lot are serious about their boxing, and they're not stupid. They know they haven't had fights yet, so they know they can't cut corners. It's like, what is it? Hard work beats talent if talent don't work hard. You get me? And I always think you can be the best boxer in the world, but you know if you've got someone who's fit and game in front of you, you're going to have a fucking hard night, mate. So, and these are no ways what they've got to do to take it there, and they've been thrown in the deep end almost. Like, they could be in a fucking big gaff at home, you get me? But they choose to be in Birmingham, like grafting it out, and I respect them for it. And it says a lot about them, and it's going to take them a long way in the sport, I think, because they could be mollycoddled and things like that, and I assure you now they're not. Like, they've been thrown in the deep end, they've had... Aadam, bro, this kid don't stop, you know what I'm saying? And Sammy's got fucking shot on him like a horse, bro, like it's fucking... I promise you, like, I can't wait to see these mans, because they're going to put mans over, you get me? And there's been bare umming and ahhing about them, and I've been like with them when they've like, yo, maybe on this day, on this card, we've been speaking about it, and then let down, and obviously he might tell his friends, like, yo, I'm gonna end up on this, and then you gotta tell him that, yo, I'm not on this. So I understand it's been fucking disheartening for him, like them as well, because obviously Sammy's gonna turn over in the next couple of months. They've both been getting days over the past, since I've known them, they've been getting stuff thrown at them, like potentials. So that must be disheartening. So I rate them for even sticking it out and grinding it out, and it's only progressed them even more because they're better men that they are that there was last year. You get me? So I can't wait for them to turn pro, man.
It's something that I mentioned to you earlier. It does really feel like a family vibe here. It feels like a proper family connection.
Yeah.
Most boxing gyms that you go into do have a good relationship, but I think it's because there's quite an assortment of different characters, all with quite a unique story. It's kind of like one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
It is, man. We should have cameras on here at all times, man. We can make a good TV series from here, man. Everyone's family's in here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we all know each other personally. We all know each other's parents. My kids are around all these, like, you get me? Like, my son looks up to him and looks up to Spider. Like, that's who he wants to be like. You get me? Because he loves boxing. He's in here flat out. He's in here he knows, bro. He's raw. He's a mad little kid, bro. He loves it. He's looking up to these lot, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand, like, sometimes what I say to him, like, doesn't usually, like, I can't, like, tell him off. He won't listen to me. I'm finding that recently. But he's got respect for Big Spencer's dad. And I threaten him with him. I'm going to tell Big Spencer. And that's put him in check. And he's 7 years old, and he gets that now. So it is like a family thing, literally. Like, any of us can go to any of us for whatever help or whatever we may need, you get me? So it's only going to bring us stronger. It's only going to make us love each other more, make us all want to do as best as we can, support each we can only win from it. You get me? And we all believe in God, bro. That's the main thing.
You mentioned there kind of about, I mean, in a roundabout way, about discipline and how boxing gives people discipline, and young people in particular. Now you've kind of seen it from I guess both sides of the fence, having young kids around here as well. What does boxing mean, and how important can boxing be for youths in underprivileged areas and just generally across the world and across sport in general?
It's just, I find it's good for their confidence and things like that. And I've seen it here with some of the kids, like literally little kids that have come here at 6, they're maybe 8 now. They've come on. Like, we've got some little soldiers coming through, you know what I'm saying? But not every kid that's going to come through is going to be a world champion, going to be a boxer. Like I say that to my son, you don't have to be a boxer, but I want you to know how to box, you get me? I just want you to have that about you, because that's what I'm saying, like what I said earlier, I wish I got into this 10 years ago. I've always been in and out of gyms, I've always liked things like, but not loved it, you get me? And now I'm falling in love with it, so. And I can see what it's doing for the kids, man. Like, kids love coming here. Friday, they're gassed, you know what I'm saying? They're all coming here with smiles on their faces, and we work them hard, and they all leave with a smile on their face, you get me? And it's a good thing, because they're going to grow up, and they're going to love us and trust us, and we're going to nurture them and train them and make them well respectable, strong kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, and their parents trust us with them as well, you get me? So, and even the parents and all the kids' class, credit to them. We've got people that come every single week without fail, so it's nice to see, man. I love it.
What's the end goal for you here? Is it doing a show at Blues Ground? Is it doing, you know...
There's different goals for different people, but my be-all and end-all, my thing is like, yo, I just want to be respected and go down in this thing. Like, yo, Jay's done a lot in that sport because I'm giving up a lot of my life to it. So I just want to be respected at some point. That's my aspirations for now. Like, obviously, I've got in my head that I'd like Aadam to do, and things that I'd like Spider to do, things that I'd like other people in the gym where I think they can go. But my main thing is just, I just want to be people, like, I want people to come to me and think like, he's going to look after me, you get me? Not be bumped, you know what I'm saying? Not be robbed, not be mugged off. Literally, like, I get up in the morning, brother. I'm ringing these like first thing in the morning. I'm on them, you get me? I'm getting them, picking them up and going to sprints. I'm doing all this shit, you get me, brother? And it isn't rewarding for me yet, but I believe in the long run, it's like we all can be there. Do you know what I'm saying? Where all our children are blessed in life, you get me? Because alhamdulillah, I'm nice, you get me? But I want everyone else to be. And that's more the be-all and end-all in here. Music, I don't want to manage a musician because I'm never going to give a shit about another kid's music more than my own. That's where I'm at, because I'm number one in music, you get me? But in this gym, I know my role, I play my part, I know my place, you get me? So it's a team thing, man.
Okay, well, the boss man, Spencer McCracken Jr. has just
He
walked
thinks
in.
he's the boss.
He thinks he's
I'm
the
the
boss.
boss.
We'll say it while he's here. Whose name's above the door?
McCracken. Yeah.
So I think that's our cue to get cracking, get McCracken, and and get on with the next session. But Jaykae, thanks very much for having us down here today at McCracken's gym. You know, really grateful for your time and congratulations, and wish you all the best on this journey.
Respect, my bro. You'll be there anyway.